But no, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to iMOK. Thank you again, and we're happy that you're here listening. And we just hope that after this message today, you will be just as okay as we are.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm just.
Great. Hey,
Hey, off the top of my head. I'm not meant for this thing,
great,
man.
man. No, that was really good because I liked the tone in your voice, like, hello, good to have you here.
Yeah, great.
You did great, man. You sounded like a Native American right there, man. Oh my goodness.
Normally, it's just saying I sound like a Russian.
You do sound like a Russian.
No, I don't.
You're like halfway there, man. If Russian is here,
I'm not.
German is like halfway there.
Shut up! I'm not. No, this is if I would say to you, like, you sound like a South American guy.
Well, I could sound like a South American guy.
No, you can't.
Start speaking Spanish. Yeah.
No. ¿Cómo está?
Thinking of what this
I love
is.
watching you guys.
Muy bien, ¿cómo estás
¿Cómo
tú?
está?
Now I'm self-conscious. I don't know what to say now.
Yeah, just saying. It's just
Really?
saying hi. Yeah. Well, again, Spanish. We were colonized by the Spanish
Okay.
people when around 1600s or 1500s.
That is true. I forgot about that. Yeah. That's why Filipinos look like Asian and Hispanic, and there's like a mix there, man. They just kind of...
Unless you're from Chinese heritage, then you look somewhat Spanish here in the Philippines.
Spanish, right?
So there are some words that we use that Spanish people use, like fiesta, siesta.
Wow.
What else? There's a lot, like even the food.
Similar.
There's a lot of similarities. Yeah. And there are also some Chinese terms that Filipinos use.
I had a lot of Filipino friends, man, and we used to eat all the time. And, it's in college. I don't know if you'd call them friends, but because we don't talk anymore.
Yeah,
like schoolmates.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities with Spanish.
Nice food.
Nice food. Did you try their the famous chicken adobo?
No, because they were vegan. What did I eat? It was like it was like noodles. It was like it looked more Asian, obviously, but I mean it looked like almost like glass noodles with I forget the name of it. There's a lot of greens and vegetables and stuff in it, but they used to eat that all the time.
Pancit?
Huh?
Pancit? Is that what they call it?
I have no idea.
Is it like thin rice noodles with
rice noodles?
Carrots?
That's what it was. It was rice noodles with there was greens and there was but they ate it all the time. I think there was seaweed in there.
Seaweed, that's the first time I heard it. Pancit with seaweed. Yeah.
Like dry seaweed. Do you know how you get the dry seaweed in the sheets? They used to break it up and they used to eat it with everything.
What do you call that thing? Nori?
Nori
call it
paper. Yeah.
Nori, yeah.
Like seaweed paper. That's what you use in what's it? The one that you roll with.
Right.
It's for sushi.
Sushi?
Yeah,
for sushi.
And this is what we talked about, Molly. This adds the taste, like umami, to the food.
Yeah. Okay.
Amazing. This week is really crazy with our podcast. First podcast finally being aired. There were some emotions that was shared in there, and Oliver was crying, man. Even if you listen to the whole podcast, you'd hear his voice, and it was just like, he felt I don't know what you call it, but it was really crazy. I don't know about you, Marley, but me, I just had a very good a walk back to the memory lane, like how we started. It's really crazy, and how you guys got connected.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a one of a kind, man. That was one of a kind.
Yeah. And it's just one act from another, lifting each other up from what they're experiencing. Like for me, the first time I made what you call this, because remember, Oliver, when you look like what's the term? You look like a homeless guy inside your house. I trimming your hair.
Yeah.
Just to take care of start taking care of yourself. Try to shave some of your beard, and started from there. And you can I feel like there's something that changed from that day.
Yes, it
because
did.
you fix yourself, and I think this is what you did to Marley as well. When I don't know what you did to Marley, but every time whenever I listen to that podcast, it's like, man, this trio is really looking after each other. So I love how it turned out.
Yeah, you're totally right, man. Because I gave up a little bit on myself, after the separation, and I'm an open guy. I show everything from my inside, and I had the exact same reaction from Marley when I showed my living situation. And I remember the day when you told me, you have to take care of yourself. You have to do something for yourself. And this is when I started, making my juice in the morning, go out, sit in the garden, just by myself, have a coffee, have a glass of water, have a fresh pressed juice. And, making my bed in the morning, the first task, wake up. Now it's like praying in the morning. And after this, I wake up and get out of bed and, put everything away, so everything looks nice again, because this is like a structure also inside your head. And this, I think, was one of the first times when I made a sacrifice to myself, or when I chose a way, to do stuff and to move on. And little steps, nothing big, not changing my whole life in one day, because this is obviously not possible. But these little tweaks, these little changes, you add to my life, Molly add to my life, and of course I add maybe to your life or to Molly's life, because I'm pretty sure you will celebrate. Maybe. Yeah. Thank you.
Of course you do, brother. Come on, man.
No, this is, because I'm pretty sure
being
next
too
year.
Modest.
next year, I'm 100% sure next year Kimo will go out and buy a cake by himself.
Yeah.
Or I'm 100% sure if the iMOK stuff goes viral and we are on the best way to do this or to achieve this, we will be there. Like Male and me, and celebrate the third anniversary of Kimo Rica Blanca photography in Manila.
Yeah, that would be amazing, man. That would be amazing. Yeah. So, how about you, Marley? What changed, or did you feel like something happened after you and Oliver got connected? You telling Oliver told us a story about when you were in Hawaii, you were about to leave. And then you just, had a little chat with Oliver that day. Has anything changed from there, from your perspective?
Oh yeah, definitely. So we call Oliver the king or the father of calendar.
Father.
Which one is it?
the preacher. The preacher.
The preacher. No, but everything that comes out of Oliver's mouth is always encouraging, uplifting. And when it's not, something's wrong. You know what I mean? And but no, so you have to understand the situation. Jamaica, Hawaii, but at that specific time, I was living in my brother's apartment in this small room, and I had all my belongings in there. Bed, TV, laptop, desk, dresser, clothes, and my wife and kids are in a completely different country, in South America. And there's like one window in the room, and there's like only a little bit of light coming out of it. I think light only hits that window in the morning time. So throughout the whole day, it's just a dark, closed, cramped up room. And I'm not making fun of my brother's house or anything like that, but just to kind of paint the picture, I felt like I was in the closet. I felt very lonely. I felt very, even though I was in Jamaica for a week, when I came back, I was like, well, here I am again in the closet, and I couldn't sleep at night. My mind's racing. And then I went to Hawaii for a week, and that was great. And then when I came back, I'm back in this, in this like pit of just darkness, you know what I mean? And not the room, but more so my mind. And I just felt like the walls were closing in on me, you know what I mean? So Oliver coming into the picture now and opening up, and I realized, like, oh my goodness, there was just like a beam of light that just went right through that pit that I was in, and it just hit me in my face. I was just like, look, this brother is going through the same exact thing that I'm going through. It's like he's been in the pit the whole time, and I didn't even realize, you know what I mean? So he's holding the lighter. So it was just encouraging, because knowing somebody else, even if they're halfway across the planet, knowing that somebody else is going through similar and feeling the same exact things that you are, it's just a boost of confidence. It's a boost of positivity. It's just a boost of endorphins, and we just really clicked. Like, we already clicked before, through photography and stuff, but then we just clicked even more, that one day when you told me I was in Hawaii, because I knew I was going back home in a couple of days, back to that same situation. So it's just like, man, maybe it doesn't have to be so dark after all. We can kind of help each other. And then obviously he told me about you, Chemo, and that you actually experienced similar stuff and had the same issues that I was going through at the current time with your your backstory, a year or a couple of years back. And it's just like, look, let's get in touch with each other. Let's make this happen, and let's see if we can share this to other people, because it's not just us three. It's hundreds, millions of people around the world. You know what I mean? So, but no, definitely the two of you have been I'm saying three of you because I see a fourth person here, but it's just you. But no, the both of you guys have just been big change in my life, and I can look forward every week to talking and getting a recharge of energy, to go through my daily life. So yeah, a lot of changes since I met you guys.
Yeah, that's really, really crazy. But my story though is like, I was prepared to do this with you guys. Is that the preparation was too long for me. Imagine like 10 years I was in a depressed state. It was in 2011 when I first had a glimpse of what's going to come. So when my wife had a child, um, well, she bared the child, and I thought it was mine, man. That was the whole thing. I thought that was mine, and she made me believe that the human inside of her, it's mine. So I got excited, of course, because this is a person that I wanted to be with. And then, only to find out when the kid was born, I was like, I saw the man's face, because I know this guy. All right, so I saw the man's face and that baby's on my baby's face, and then I just decided for myself, no, this was given to me. I'm gonna take care of them, no matter what happens. That's what I did for a couple of months. But my wife was, I don't know what you call it, but she was really, she wanted to get out of the house. She wanted to move back to her parents' place, and try to raise the baby there. So I just like, okay, but there were like several attempts to for her to move out, and I was just telling her, let's take care of each other. Let's do this. Because also that time I lost my job, so really crazy. So I was in a very dark place already, but I was fighting for it. And then around May or June 2011, I just sort of gave up. Oh, 2012. That was 2012. And then my struggles started there. I was trying to look for a job. I talked to a couple of my friends. I asked them if they can, give me some touring side job because they asked me if I can do a tour guide for their van tours here in the Philippines. Tourists going to different places, and so that's what I did for quite some time. But the pay wasn't really that well. I just get tips from the guests. And then that was my whole 2012. I was just trying to find a way where I can get a job so that I can provide for the baby, for save up for myself. And then 2013, when I finally had a job with this call center, and I kind of felt like I was on autopilot from 2013 up until 2019. So it was really difficult for me to cope up with my troubles. And I even tried to file a case back in 2015 to just get my marriage untangled from the mayor's office, but with no luck, my case got dismissed because I believe I didn't have enough budget to continue with the case. And then moving forward, 2018, my company said that our account will be dissolved. So it was like, I didn't want to stay there longer because I wasn't feeling really good with that company. I mean, the pay was good. My mom benefited from the healthcare that she's getting, but also this time I already have my camera, so I was just like doing side jobs with wedding photography. And then when the company finally decided that there will be a lot of people that will be that they will need to shave off, then I said, I'm just gonna quit and I'm just gonna start my photography from there. It was like a difficult time as well because I don't have enough money to back me up. I was struggling trying to find my way to getting clients, what kind of photography I'm gonna do. So for a time, I just joined a couple of friends with their wedding photography, but again, the pay wasn't that good. And every time we do wedding, it's like an hour and a half away from me. I have to commute with my gear. And then around 2019, when I decided, hey man, I'm just gonna try my own wedding photography. And so I did. I got a couple of clients. I raised my fee a little bit, and then I got some invites to do a graduation photo. This was 2019, and that's when it started. So I was able to save up. I was able to save enough for me to put out my studio, and clarity just came in after I got treated with my depression in late 2019. And then I think that was the time when Oliver was, started messaging me on Instagram. So I guess if I didn't step out of my dark place, I wouldn't be able to connect to Oliver and to you. So it was a long patient for me that I had to endure, man. But just up to this day, my marriage is still there. Right now, I'm trying to save up for a lawyer, for me to afford a lawyer, and finally, get my marriage entangled. But again, the bottom line here is that was long preparation. If I did not do that, I won't be able to be with you guys. Won't be able to speak out, share my story and help other people. Just like I was, encouraging Oliver. I also I'm encouraging you, Marley. I hope so. I'm encouraging you with your abs, with your, with your muscles. Just kidding. No, but
Definitely,
yeah,
man. Of
He
course.
can't keep it
yeah.
to
So
himself. He can't keep it to himself.
now we have to talk about his
Yeah,
abs,
of course
man.
we have to. Of course we have to.
Oh my goodness.
And that's my story, man. There were a lot of sacrifices, of course. Those in between days, in between years. Um, I'm a happy guy. I'm naturally I'm a happy guy. But during those 8 years or 9, 10 years, it was really I don't know where I was at. So then, but it has to happen. I need to experience those so that I can share my story and be okay. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people. There are people who experience this kind of trouble. They're just there somewhere, and
100%, man. 100%. And then what you mentioned, the long preparation, everything that we have been through in our lives, like you, like Molly, like me, also like Amira and a lot of our listeners, you know, this led up to this point, everything we experienced in our lives, the good, the bad, but especially the bad stuff, because you only can evolve and develop yourself if you stumble and fall, because you don't learn from the bright side, you just learn from the dark side. Um, but always to keep in mind where you come from, never, never take anything for granted. And what I learned, to have expectations, you can have a plan, you can have a vision, you can go for a target or go for a goal, but to always have expectations, you can only lose. If you have expectations and they are not fulfilled, you stumble again. So if you give something, don't expect something in return. If you say something, don't expect somebody to give the same to you. It's like fishing for compliments or something. I say something to you because I want to hear this. And this is the same. Like we always try to treat everybody around us, especially me. I was with my wife for like almost 20 years. So I know her from our childhood. I met her when she was 14. I was 18. So we are 4 years. Yeah, we have a 4 years age difference, and after we met and we got the kids, and she had a severe depression over more than a decade, like borderline syndrome. Like hurting herself and stuff, and long-term clinic visits and all the stuff, therapy and everything that's included in this journey. And I was always giving everything I can to her, without knowing that I was expecting her to treat me the same way. But obviously, this is not the case, because she's not me. I'm a different person. I look through my glasses and she looks through her glasses. And this is something that I had to learn, or I had to acknowledge, or not take it for granted. But, everything that led up to this point, or led up to meeting Molly, led up to meeting you, is like the preparation for iMOK. Because we know how bad life can, kick you in the ass or in the balls. And there is a saying from Winston Churchill, it's no problem if you fall, but always get up one time more than you fall. And this is something that I always did. People are around me. If you see my resume, if I apply for a job, I always get asked thousands of questions. Like, why is this just a short employment? Why this? Why that? Yeah, because my life is like this. It never goes in a straight line. It's like up and down and left and right and stuff. But I always try to figure out a way. For my family, for my wife, for me, of course, for myself. But, there's when I came into the situation with the separation, and you guys witnessed it. You were there. I was the man sitting right now here is not the same person you met 3 months ago.
Yep.
Yeah,
and you guys have such a big impact on my life. I can't even describe it. I'm normally not shy for words, or not lost for words. But this is something so close to me and so close to my heart that I can't even put it in words. I can't transport it, because there's no right term for me to say it. Because without you guys, I'm 100% sure this wouldn't be possible. Period.
Yeah, I guess we're just inspiring each other with the stories, that happened to us. Even with Marley, like what Marley, Marley impacted me with his big heart, not his big abs, but with his big heart. When we first talked on here in Zoom, I guess you mentioned how you take care of your mom, but you also have to take care of your wife, her family. So, and you always want to make sure they're okay first before yourself. Sometimes you don't even see that you're struggling yourself, but you just want to make sure they're okay first. So that kind of sacrifice that you were doing for these people is just something that inspired me to do, because I was just looking after myself. I did not even try to take care of other people. Of course, my mom, because during those times that I was in a dark place, she was getting sick all the time. But that was it. But with you, Marley, man, you were like, you have a family in America, you have a family in Bolivia, and you want to make sure everything is okay, everyone is doing fine. That kind of sacrifice that you were doing, man, that's really amazing. And with Oliver, sacrificing a lot of things on his shoulder, like just to make sure his kids and his wife is doing okay. He has something to put on their table. Man, you guys are really inspiring.
Kind of piggyback on that. I think I don't even know how to say this. There's a lot of times when I'm going through stuff, even now, or the last few months, and I just say, God, why you allow these things to happen? Why? Why do these things have to happen? Like, I don't think I deserve this. So for example, like you said, you help. I try to help other people, and we help other people, and bad things happen to us anyway. And it's just like, why does it have to happen? And the only thing that really the only thing that really gives me comfort is two things. Number one, like Oliver said, these experiences are going to help us to grow, to become a better person. Growing is painful. Gold. I don't know if you know the process to purifying gold, but pure gold when it's like super shiny, and it has to be burned. It has to be put in a furnace, and it has to all those impurities have to be burnt off, and like hot. I don't even know the temperature.
May I interrupt you on this? Can I interrupt you on this?
Yeah.
Diamonds. If you find diamonds are made under heat and under pressure.
Under pressure, right?
And this is what what made us.
Exactly. So it's the same thing with us. Like, that's the only way we're going to. I watch my kids all the time, and it's just like, in order for them to become good children and good adults, they have to be, disciplined. And discipline is a hard thing for a kid. I mean, they're crying. You just send them. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's the end of the world to them, And it's just the same thing with us. It's like times to grow. So that's one thing that encourages me. The other thing that encourages me is we go through these things now so that we can help people later who's going through the same thing. And that's the other thing that gives me comfort. So, chemo. Obviously, you went through your situation for what, a span of 10 years. You went through your situation for a long time, and maybe for 10 years, it just seemed like, well, I went through all of that for nothing. Maybe some growth,
Exactly.
but now it's coming into play now, because you're not just helping Oliver. You haven't just helped Oliver. You haven't just helped me. You're potentially helping people around the world with your experience, because there's people around the world whose their kid isn't theirs either, and they're probably figuring out what to do, and they're like, man, it's not my kid. I should just leave this woman and her baby alone. But chemo, they're going to remember chemo's experience. It's like, no, chemo put himself aside and did everything in his power, even though he was depressed, to try and help this kid for a few months or however long and it was just like, look, we need more people like that in this world. I want to be like him. You know what I mean? You never know, man. You never know. You never know who's going through it. So yeah, my situation, to kind of shine a little light on that. My in-laws are sick. When I married my wife almost 7 years ago, I knew this. I knew they were, old. My wife is 6 years older than me, which means their parents are older than my parents, and so they're old. Third world country. They don't have some of the benefits we have in America, here in Bolivia. And long story short, my dad's he's been losing weight for the last few years. He can barely keep some of his food down. He has a lot of stomach problems. You touch him, he's like skin and bones. And my mother-in-law, she has high blood pressure. She has high cholesterol. She's overweight. She has some arthritis in her joints, and she can barely move or walk sometimes. My sister-in-law has rheumatoid arthritis. She's only like 32, 33. And this thing has wreaked havoc on her body. Like, she is more frail sometimes than her parents. And, the last 7 years living in the States, my wife is suffering because her family suffered, and she wants to help her family. So I'm just like, look, I've met your family. I've been to Bolivia almost every year since we've been married, and visited them. And when I'm there, I help them, where I can. The last podcast I mentioned that I know some. I studied massage therapy and herbology and natural remedies and stuff like that, and hydrotherapy. So I do whatever I can to help them. Massage, anything, with inflammation or anything. So I said, yeah, you want to go home, you want to help them. That's honorable. I respect that. I want to do that too. And it's just, the last year or two, things kind of got rough between my wife and I. And the way she left to go to Bolivia, even though it was an understanding that we were going to do it, the way it happened just was not good. And the goal was to still go down there and to help, even though my wife and I were on like her manager's on the rocks. And she had the kids, and I said, let me stay here for a few months, get my mind together, go on a few, couple of trips, vacations, go travel a little bit, and then I'll go down there. And we talked about that in the last podcast, more into detail. But when I came down here, like you said, chemo, it was just like the goal was to help my family, to help them, because they need the help, and they're not getting the help here. We'll probably talk more about that another time. But yeah, they're not getting the help here. So long story short, kind of wrap this up, is just it got to a point where I'm trying to help everybody else, which is honorable. And I think as a Christian, that's something we want to do. But God doesn't want us to help other people at the expense of our own health and mental health and spiritual health. And so there has to be a line there. And that's where that's the realization I've come to with the help of my brothers here, Oliver and Chemo. So that's a little bit more light on my situation there too.
So yeah, what Marley said, the point is, and this is what we are, trying to do with each other, and what we are trying to do with the iMOK community, with the iMOK movement. It's like, making sure that everybody around us and everybody in our community and everybody in our circle is okay and doing well. And, giving you the feeling and the secureness that you don't have to face the struggles in your life on your own, and be there for each other, talk to each other, open up, talk about issues, talk about struggles, talk about anxieties, depression. Of course, we are not therapists, but you don't have to be a therapist to help another human being. We are not fixing broken legs or making surgeries or stuff. We are just there to listen. We are just there to support, maybe share our experiences, share our emotions, and just be honest and authentic. And this is exactly what we are doing in our group here. And I'm sure everybody in the world can do this. And if you belong to a bigger group, if you belong to something or you feel home somewhere, it's even easier for you to reach out to somebody because you feel protected. You not have to do this on your own. And the main thing about it is we always talk about this stuff, and it sounds like we know each other already for years. But what is happening here right now is the result of like 8 weeks, maybe. And this is so amazing and so crazy, and it always gives me goosebumps because this is something I've never experienced in my life. I was always an open person. Of course, I didn't talk to everybody about my, marriage or, inner circle problems, and what I didn't do in the years, was I always put everybody first. We talked about this topic a lot of times now, but I forgot about myself. This was the point when you said to me, "Hey man, you look like a homeless guy." Of course, I'm sleeping on a mattress on the floor, because I snore and I didn't have access to the sleeping room, because my wife couldn't sleep. And I think Marley said the same thing you said. You have to take care of yourself, and this is something to appreciate yourself, self-love, self-confidence. And I never looked at it this way, because I was so stuck in this in this world, in this bubble, I was living in, trying everything or to please everybody around me, like my kids, my wife, my family, whatever. So I lost track of myself. And when you guys came into my life, everything's changed, not only my marriage or my relationship with my wife, but the way I think, the way I feel. And I started opening up inside myself. I use this term or this analogy, like I had the feeling I'm standing in front of a big dam, like a Hoover dam or something in the States, and I opened the door, and all the water is just rushing out, all the feelings, all the emotions, all the stuff that was, caged inside me. And right now I don't have the power to close the door again, because this is just, like I open my chest and everything is coming out, and I don't have the power or the ability to shut the fuck up. This is just something, I could talk about this like 24 hours, like 24/7. And sometimes I hear myself talking and I think, oh, shut the fuck up, man. This is too much. But this is how I am right now. And you guys changed me. You guys changed the way I think. And this has nothing to do with, we talked about this, skin color, black beard, white beard, gray beard, yellow, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you believe in. It doesn't matter where you are from. There is always, just what's inside of you, what's inside of your heart, what's inside of your head. And the way I think about myself right now is completely related to you guys. And this is something I can't even say how grateful I am for this.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful, man. I mean, it's actually those little things that people do to others that affects their lives more. We don't even notice it. Just like, hey man, to Oliver, I just ask you to shave your cut your hair, just fix yourself. And look what happened to you, man. With Marley, what you did to Marley is, I'm not really sure how you covered Marley with your comforting words, but look where Marley is at right now. When we talk in Messenger, you always tell me that you talk to Marley for like a little bit longer, for like 2 hours, 3 hours a day. So the way you're taking care of Marley, it definitely affects Marley in a positive way. So it's those small things that we spend to each individual that affects the way they think, and that's what's important right now. Because there are some people who would say that I can make impact if only I have $1,000,000 or I have $1,000. I'll make an impact if only I have a car and go travel there. No, you can make an impact even if you're just sitting here listening to your friends, listening to anyone's struggles, and you might
sorry if I interrupt you on this. This came right now to my mind, or into my mind. There is no bigger gift you can give somebody than your lifetime. Sitting there, talking to each other, spending time with each other, because every second in your life, you just have it one time.
Right.
Money comes on a regular basis, sometimes every month as a salary or sometimes as a gift or whatever, it returns to you. But time, your lifetime, every second you give to somebody, listening on the phone, talking to somebody in person, listening to a podcast, is appreciation of the person you are with. And there is no bigger gift. There is no bigger gift. And yeah,
exactly.
I love to talk to you guys. That's it.
Same here, man. Same with you. Exactly. That's the thing that we want to share to other people. Like a lot of people are so tied to the idea that they can only help if they have this thing in front of them. But you have a voice, you have ears, you have eyes. Why don't you use that first? Right? Exactly. You have big heart. Precisely. And this is what you guys do to me again. Marley waking up early for this call, and after this, he'll take care of his family. He's gonna do his own thing. Probably meet clients or get prospects so that he can do photo shoot or video shoot on the next week. And same with you, Oliver. In a couple of weeks, you'll be moving to a different city.
Next week,
and
man.
You're gonna start next week. That's a big one, man. So I'm so excited for you again. And yeah, you see, we were just in here we're just doing regular call for like a span of 6 weeks. But look how big the impact we did for each other. We've been doing this like separately on different occasions. With you to me, with you to Marley, Marley to me, and Marley to you, and same with me guys to you. So we were just listening to each other, man. We're not even
That's
neighbors.
all it is.
Yeah,
No,
we
we're
don't
not.
even have to, struggle and find a way to buy tickets because I need to be there for Marley to help him out with his family because, he needs probably an assistant in his videography or photography. Same with Oliver, like he's moving and probably he needs someone that, to pick up his stuff. But no, it's the encouragement that we do to each other is something that people need to pick up. We also need to take care of ourselves. Just like what Marley mentioned on our very first podcast, you need to make sure that you're okay first so that you can help other people. Because if you're dying inside, how can you help those people who are in need? So that was a beautiful share from Marley from last podcast, man.
Thanks. No,
thank you guys for your time. Yeah.
No. Thank you, and thank you for your sharing today, guys. I just wanted to. You said something that was really powerful, Kimo. You said that some people think they need so much money, to make an impact, and just listening is enough. And reminds me of saying that I think I was talking to Oliver about it. Look, I think I told you too, Kimo. But for the sake of the podcast, you throw a rock or a little tiny pebble, into a huge lake. Those ripples just start moving, out. And sometimes we can't even see the ripples anymore. But it goes all the way out to the shoreline, and then bounces right back. And so we don't know. It was a little pebble. We don't know how much of an influence our actions, how little they may be, affect so many people. And like in the last podcast, Oliver was like, you helping Kimo to go get that cake, that came from someone helping Oliver on Facebook, providing some money or some cash or PayPal or something. That money went to a cake, went from Germany to, helping Kimo, in Manila.
Yes.
And that cake went to your neighbor, and your neighbor shared it with his family. And, it's just the influence just goes and goes and goes. Those ripples just keep going. And just something as small as listening to somebody could affect, millions of people listening to this podcast, So it's just amazing, man. It's just the way you said it, you're right. People think they need something first before they can help other people. And you don't need anything, just be yourself and just listen. And
exactly.
Yeah, I think that's really powerful.
That's beautiful, man. You're welcome, man. Before we wrap things up, Oliver, do you have last words you want to share?
Oh, I want to share so much more, but I think I will keep it up for the next podcast. No, what I want to say as maybe final words for this episode is like, guys, wherever you are in the world, wherever you may be in your life right now, how much you think you're stuck, just open up, be honest to yourself, be honest to the people around you, be honest to us. Reach out, somebody of us will grab your hand. We'll be there for you. And we will just make things happen for all of us. Because for me, there is something, always, bouncing inside my head, like from left to right. Is like, I gain more from giving than from receiving. And this has nothing to do with money. We talked about this earlier. Just to see your face when it happened with the cake, to see Molly's face when we talk about for hours sometimes, sometimes spending a whole afternoon together, thousands of miles apart from each other. Is so powerful, and every time I feel so much better about it. And how I felt after our first episode last week, it was insane. It was really insane. I had so much energy inside of me, the share from Amira, the share from Male, the share from you, Kimo. All the stuff that came together, it was like there was a fire inside of me, lighting me up. I didn't even sleep the night after this, like 2 hours or something. And I was awake the whole next day without even being tired, because there was so much going on, so much emotions inside of me. And this is what we want to share with everybody around the world, with all our listeners, with all our supporters, with all our followers. And be prepared. There is so much more coming.
Very nice.
Amazing, man. Well, guys, thank you guys for listening or for tuning into this another podcast. We hope that we hope you get connected with us so that we can inspire you as well. Again, you don't really need right now with our current situation. People are struggling, especially with their financial needs. But what we have is this technology. We have Zoom, we have Messenger, we have Instagram. For sure, you have internet access. All you need to do is just type in message. Hey guys, I just listened to your podcast, or just say, hey, man, I just heard your podcast, and I want to be okay. Oliver or Marley can reach to you. Just message us, and we can, let's talk.
Yeah.
Just talk to us. We will listen, definitely. If you want a safe place where you can open up your problems, your struggle, hey, make this community yours, and we will be there for you. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and until our next podcast, bye for now.